the audience. This time I'd like to invite Dave Tuchek to come forward. I'll let you give your own title, but in charge of the Idlewood tree management.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I'm Dave Tuchek, the Park Operations Manager, so I oversee the maintenance of all of the parks in the city. I've been with the city for approximately 30 years. Wanted to talk a little bit about the trees at Idlewood Park. I briefed the council and the mayor a few months ago regarding the incidents that have occurred down there that led up to where we are today. We, back in August, had a couple of major limb failures at the park, injuring one park patron, and one of the limbs landed on the property to the north of the park. That was very abnormal for any of our parks, particularly Idlewood Park, but any of our parks. During windstorms, we do experience limbs falling, but not on completely calm summer days. So we immediately responded after the second limb failure, cordoned off the area, put up barricades, caution tape, and signage, and then we conducted a evaluation of all the trees in the park. So we had two arborists actually do the observation and the risk assessment. Combined, they have approximately 40 years of experience doing arboriculture work. They identified 30 trees that they felt were too high of a risk for that type of a setting. So when we're looking at risk, one of the major factors that we look at is what we call basically it's called a target. So if there's a hazard with people around it, particularly with a park like Idlewood during the summer when you literally have hundreds of people by these trees, we can't afford that level of risk. We take these decisions very seriously. We don't take them lightly at all. We looked at different alternatives. We looked at actually reducing limb weight on these trees. In fact, one of the trees that dropped the large limb that landed on the condominium property to the north had been pruned 4 years earlier. So we feel that even with pruning, we're not going to be able to actually make that situation much safer. We looked at actually installing barrier fencing around the identified trees, but because the trees are so tall and the limbs are so large and they hang out, you would literally take up about 60% of the north part of the beach in that area of the park, and then you take out a significant portion of the south beach. We recognize that Idlewood Park is really the only free family beach park on the entire lake, and so we feel that we need to leave as much area as possible for the park patrons to enjoy. As stated earlier, we are removing 30 trees, but we do have a replanting plan, so we're going to be coming back and replanting 60 conifer and deciduous trees. Deciduous trees are going to be 8 to 10 feet tall, so they're not going to be small trees. Also shrubs, probably 70 shrubs, and ground cover. So that's the project. That is the reason why when we oversee the maintenance of the parks, risk management is our #1 priority. We can't accept high-risk situations. Over the years, we have had different accidents in our parks. Some of them we can prevent, some we can't. We feel that we can actually prevent accidents and injury with this decision.